Hey everybody, welcome to TIW Podcast. I'm Eric, and today I watched WWE Raw episode 1420, which was broadcast on August 17th, 2020. So we opened up with all kinds of glitches in the opening, the now then forever turning upside down and going fuzzy and all that kind of thing. Drew McIntyre addresses Randy's evil actions last week, and he claims himself to be a fire-breathing dragon that's going to end Randy Orton. We get more graphics glitches while this is going on, and we cut back to the Retribution attacking the production truck. We cut back to the production truck where Retribution is attacking, rather. And then everybody's worried backstage. The whole locker room is talking. Not everybody, but Titus says, Tozawa, that better not be your ninjas. And then Seth and Drew have a bit of a face-to-face scuffle about who is the actual locker room leader. Says, we've got a Monday Night Messiah right here. Why do you need a locker room leader? MVP comes out. At first, there's no camera crew out there, which I thought was interesting. I was kind of hoping that would be what the rest of the episode was like, but shortly after the start of that, the camera folks get back to their cameras, pick them up, and start filming. But MVP says, follow the trail to Cedric Ricochet, Mustafa Ali, and Apollo Crews. They're the ones behind this. These Retribution people showed up the same night that it cost him the United States Championship. Shelton and Apollo fight. The stipulation being that if Apollo could win, then Shelton and Lashley would be banned from ringside at SummerSlam. So Apollo does win after a roll-up. This was all kinds of stuff happened. The ninjas ran through. They got ambushed by, let's see, who is that? Somebody got ambushed. Shelton then won the 24/7, and then they challenged everybody to a six-man elimination tag team match. Oh, that's right, because who was champion at the time? It was I don't even remember. 24/7 championship stuff is confusing. And I think I wrote down correctly that Shelton won it. Shelton didn't currently have it, or else this match would have been a 24/7 championship match. I think R-Truth had it, and so Akira Tozawa was chasing after him. But anyway, Angel gives a rose to that girl from The Bachelor. And Ivar gives her a turkey leg. Then we get Ivar versus Angel. Angel wins that match after Dawkins had called out Angel for being a player. He's like, what about Charlie? Huh? And then we had, and then he said, oh, let's roll that video. And Zelina's like, wait, what video? What video? And just moments later, we see the video, and it shows that Zelina Vega was messing with something with Montez Ford's drinks. Her back, she was between the camera and the drinks, but it's pretty obvious. She poisoned him. And she said, that doesn't prove anything. That just proves I wore a great jacket. Then we had Mickie James versus Natalya, which I thought was great to have this match, but most of it, Seth and Murphy came out, and they were arguing with Tom and Joe. So, like, most of the focus was on them instead of the match that was going on. And Natalya won via countout, and I don't even remember how that happened because the focus was so much over on the guys. That was a shame. It should have been a much better presentation for Mickie James's return. And then we had Sasha Banks and Bayley versus Asuka and Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler made Bayley tap out, but this was after Nia interrupted and got kicked out by all of the officials after. And we also saw Sasha Banks and Nia Jax brawl during that scuffle. They also, before the match, They asked who will be the losers at Payback because they are defending their tag team titles at Payback. I think it should be Asuka and Io Shirai. And then Asuka and Io will have all of the belts. Yes, I'm saying that Io Shirai is going to win at TakeOver 30. Apollo, since they challenge the Hurt Business to a 6-man tag team match, or rather the Hurt Business challenged them to it, Apollo chooses Mustafa Ali and Ricochet. He leaves out Cedric and he said, I'm sorry, I thought that maybe you weren't up for it because I was out for a long time after getting hit with that full Nelson from Bobby Lashley. And Cedric is kind of offended, but it turns out it's okay because later on we'll get to that. Then backstage we see Shayna Baszler with Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir. And I'm thinking, those two are heading to the Thunderdome and the Underground. The Thunderground. Raw Thunderdome ground. Speaking of the Underground, we see Shane McMahon arrive. He doesn't have to get there at the beginning of the broadcast. He just has to get there at the beginning of Raw Underground. The guy guarding the door, he says, hey, that's a big fist. Shane McMahon says that to the guy. Then we see Peyton Royce versus Ruby Riott. Peyton wins after they push Ruby into Liv, and there is more friction between those two, which is very sad. Then we go to the Raw Underground. Eric versus some guy destroys him, and then Dolph challenges him. Dolph gets the win there, and or rather, Dolph answers the challenge, I guess. Shane eggs him on, and then Shane says, this is going to be sick. But Dolph wins by sticking his thumb in Eric's eye, and Ivar just launches him off of the ring into the crowd. And next week, we're getting a rematch, Ivar versus Dolph Ziggler, who it should have been. It should have been him. Then we have Rey Mysterio and Dominic come out, and they get kendo stick revenge on Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy. Then back in the Underground, we have Arturo Ruas versus Riddick Moss, and I'm not sure who won that match, but they ended up fighting down on the ground amongst the people, and I'm not sure what happened. I looked away for a moment, and Shane was like, all right, well, we'll see you next week on the Raw Underground, or whatever. He didn't say it like that. But then we had the Hurt Business versus Ricochet, Apollo, and Ali. It was a 6-man tag team elimination match. So things were looking pretty bleak for Cedric, because first Ali was eliminated by Lashley, then Ricochet was eliminated by Shelton, but then Apollo eliminated Shelton. Cedric won the 24/7 championship because Shelton was then out of the ring. So he goes running off with that title. And then MVP was eliminated by Apollo. And so it came down to Lashley versus Apollo, but Lashley won the match. Then we had a 24/7 championship match, Cedric Alexander versus Akira Tozawa. And Cedric successfully defended, despite the attempt to use ninja power to cheat. But then immediately after that, Shelton Benjamin pins Cedric Alexander to win the 24/7 championship back. Then we had Montez Ford versus Andrade. This is a follow-up from earlier. We had Dawkins versus Angel. And Ford won that match, not surprisingly at all. And then HBK comes out. Oh, what did I write down here? Oh, I wrote it out of order. I wrote it to the side because I wanted the HBK part to be at the end. Also in the Underground, we saw Marina Shafir. I think it's Shafir. Marina versus some girl, and she wins, but then Nia Jax comes and attacks. Boo! And then she runs away when Shayna, Marina, and Jasmine stand up to her. And Shayna's like, hey, come back here. The only rule is you have to fight. You have to come back here and fight. But she doesn't. She just runs away. And then he says, all right, see you next time here on the Raw Underground. He does not say it like that. And then the final segment, HBK comes out, and what did he say? You will see it. He says you will. Someone says you will see it coming. But then Randy Orton comes. Oh, he is saying that you will see the Claymore coming, and then Randy Orton appears, hits him with the RKO real quick, and then punts him in the head. Drew McIntyre comes running out. Randy Orton tries to sneak back into the ring, but Drew fights him off. Thinks he's okay, he's in the clear, and then Randy sneaks in again and hits Drew McIntyre with the RKO, and that finished the show. I think everybody saw that coming. Everybody saw that coming. What is the thing that we're not going to see coming? It better be something good. It better be something really unexpected. They keep saying you're never going to see it coming, but we do see it coming because you're telling us exactly how and when to watch. So what is it that we're not going to see coming? Is it the return of John Cena? Is it the return of Brock Lesnar? Is it the return of who else could it be? I'm not sure who else it might be. Maybe Edge comes back and attacks Randy Orton. Says, I'm going to take that championship from you, because Randy Orton will have just won the WWE Championship from Drew McIntyre. Or any other number of things could happen. I don't know. But we're not going to see it coming. But if something crazy hasn't happened by the end of the show, then we're going to see it coming at the end. We're going to be like, okay, something crazy is about to happen. Anyway, it's a weird tagline for something that is being announced of when exactly we're going to see it. That is it for this week's episode of Raw. NXT is just in a few minutes, so starting next week, I am not going to be watching anything live. Friday nights, I still will watch SmackDown when it airs here, but I'm on delay by an hour. But everything else will be watching the day after, except for the pay-per-views. I'll be watching the pay-per-views live this weekend, of course. So there you go. Let me know what you thought. I thought this episode was pretty good. I enjoyed it. Let me know what you thought by tweeting me at TIW Podcast. Go to TIWpodcast.com for more reviews. If you enjoyed this episode or anything else on the site, please share some links with your friends. Subscribe in iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, wherever you like to listen. Stay safe, healthy, and happy out there in all of the infinite multiverses. And I'll see you next time here on TIW Podcast. Bye.